services wherever possible, and that these towers are away from very specific areas like dense residential neighborhoods or specific environmental areas. In this case, that process has been completed. Telecommunication towers are considered public utilities, and such public utilities are permitted in all zones. And staff, in this case, are the opinion that an access other than a public street is a suitable access for the development of a telecommunications tower site. Staff did consult with municipal town managers. No objections were received, and Director of Municipal Operations as well. No objections. It was discussed about potentially using existing infrastructure such as the water tower to locate the telecommunication services, put an antenna on top of the water tower. But that was not something the town was interested in pursuing, and so the telecom companies are required to put their own towers up. And in this case, as I stated earlier, Bell Mobility has completed a public consultation process for the location of the proposed tower here. On June 14th, a public notice was sent to property owners within a 60-meter radius of the subject property. I did receive a few calls from some neighboring property owners, but no specific objections were received. So you can see the map shows the property in question, and the dotted black line is the 60-meter radius. So any property that touches that dashed line received a notification of this meeting tonight. And if they could submit either objections in writing or show up to the meeting and voice their concerns to you directly. Legal authority is, as stated earlier in the Town of Shediac subdivision bylaw, that every lot, other parcel of land in the subdivision shall abut a street owned by the Crown, or in the case of lands owned or to be acquired by the municipality, public utility, and existing conditions only, such access other than a street mentioned in paragraph A as may be approved by the Commission as being advisable for the development of the land. So in this case, pretty straightforward. The motion before you is that the Shediac Planning Review and Adjustment Committee approve the lot 20-1 as shown on the Gérald Gautreau subdivision plan attached, as the lot is advisable for the development of the land. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. I just have a question. So in this case here, we're not making a recommendation, but we are approving. Right?
Correct. Yeah, it is an approval of the law. Yeah.
So in that case, the public has the right, to speak. Okay. So does anyone have any other questions? Monsieur Bell?
So if the committee was to approve the motion, is the lot restricted primarily for public utilities? In other words, if let's say that in 5 or 6 years from now, Bell Mobility decided to remove the tower, would they be able to sell it, let's say, to another developer and they could develop something different there? Or is there restrictions that would prevent a future development there?
It's certainly not intended for purposes other than a telecommunications site. There are also other general provisions in the bylaw which require public road frontage on a maintained road prior to obtaining building permits. So those two things combined would certainly limit any potential use other than for a tower site.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank you, Mr. Bill. Any other questions? Okay, is anyone in the public would like to speak on behalf or against this motion? We're good? Okay, so is anyone ready to make a motion? Monsieur Boudreau?
I'll propose a motion as presented.
Okay, second by Monsieur Després. Does somebody have any questions about this motion? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Unanimous. Thank you.
Is that unanimous? Yeah?
Unanimous, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so that's it for all the items. So the next meeting will be on July 26th at 6 p.m. So I just need somebody, quelqu'un faire l'adjournement. Monsieur Boudreau.
I need someone to adjourn, so thank you very much, everyone.
Can't always be like this.